Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Always a good day when we have our friends in from the San Diego Blood Bank. We got Doug Morton. He is the CEO, joined by his colleague, Claudine Van Gonka, who I've known for a while. We'll just say that.
We'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Director of Community Relations and Media. How you folks doing?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Doing great. Thank you.
Listen, you guys always have some great content. Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc., going to be celebrating their 20th anniversary in 2024. And we just did a little math. You're into your 4th month co-hosting.
I am, yeah.
When you hit 5, you get a special medal.
Do I?
That's right. We will have to give it to you in a ceremony in January.
Oh, I love it.
All right, very good. I know you have some questions for Doug.
Yeah, I just wanted to start off by learning about your mission.
Sure. So connecting diverse communities to save and improve lives through blood and biotherapies. That's our mission statement. And one of our messages is it's important that everyone come out and donate blood, and the diversity of the donor base is really, really important for healthcare. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about precision blood, but that's really our focus is connecting donors ultimately with the patients.
Okay.
That's what we see our role as predominantly.
Yeah, I want to hear about precision blood also, but I mean, how important is it right at this moment to donate blood, or do we have a massive shortage, or where are we kind of at?
You know, it's crucial. So nationally, there's always a shortage around this time of year. We have a tremendously supportive community, which has been great. We have community partners that step up to help us. So we were working on a promotion right now with Broken Yoke, just to reward donors that come in with a meal.
Okay.
That's not why they do it. They come in to do it
But it's a nice perk. They make a good breakfast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have great community partners to help with that, and that's really our role, is to make sure that any patient in need never has to be concerned that blood's going to be available when they need it in the hospital.
And why this time of year? Is it?
It gets busy. It's like the summer.
Okay.
People are traveling. They don't think about it. That, you're shopping, your time with your family, and that's all great and important. But we just want to remind people that there's still patients that, cancer patients, chronically transfused patients that need blood throughout the year, even during times when we're all busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Claudine, in your role, obviously, it's messaging and PR and communications and so forth. Are you constantly beating the drums for we need people to donate? Is there like a 24/7, 365 gig, so to speak?
It pretty much is. You're asking someone to come in, take an hour at least out of their time and put a needle in their arm, to save a life. So it is. But we work with our partners in a bunch of different ways. We have organizations that will host blood drives, mobile blood drives for us. Some will amplify our message through their newsletters and their social media. And so luckily we do have those partners to help us. And one of the groups that we really rely on are called the Community Guardians. So we developed this program when we were in the middle of a national blood shortage a couple of years ago. So in collaboration with the County of San Diego, we created this program where any size company, church, school, business can be part of our Community Guardians program. And all they do is just promise to share our messaging with their customers and their employees and their circles of influence. And together, we hope to reach audiences that we otherwise wouldn't be able to reach and have them come in to donate.
Yeah. It's so critical, to say the least, in this area. Doug, where would you say San Diego is in blood supply for cities that have the same population we do? Are we at the same level? Are we a little below? Are we a little ahead?
So I can speak during COVID, during the national blood crisis. Right. We did very well. Our hospitals were not needing to cancel surgeries.
Okay.
And again, this is a testament to a tremendous volunteer donor base in our community. So we did very well. But again, we don't want to confuse the message that it's not needed. We don't want people to assume somebody else is going to step up to fill that need, because we need everybody. But but our community has been incredibly supportive.
Right. Talk about Precision Blood.
Yeah, so Precision Blood, this is really a vision of the precision medicine initiative. So I'm going to back up to 2015. President Obama rolled out what he called the Precision Medicine Initiative. And this idea that a lot of our treatments, a lot of our medications don't work for huge segments of the population because the clinical trials were not diverse. Mm-hmm. And so the goal was, can we put together a 1 million-person cohort, start using things like computers and machine learning, and start understanding genetically what medications might work better? We proposed that we thought blood banks would be a great partner there. Altruistic, committed donors want to do what's right for the community. And so they ultimately partnered us with Scripps Clinical Research Institute, and we've been doing that. So that's precision medicine. That's our role there, encouraging donors to play a part there. And again, a diverse donor base. So then in the blood banking side, on the transfusion medicine side, we said it makes sense that we should apply precision medicine techniques to blood transfusion. And so precision blood is using next-generation sequencing to genotype red cells, so deeply type red cells in a way that's not traditionally done, so that we can better match for a patient in need. So people know about the typical ABO and maybe a few antigens. What we can look at with next-generation sequencing now is we can look at hundreds of antigens. And so our hypothesis is essentially, right, you're getting a transfusion and you want to avoid as much conflict as possible in terms of antigens. And so we know about this for like organ transplants and things like that. There's a lot of studies around sickle cell, frequently transfused patients that antigen mismatches are a problem. So if it's a problem for frequently transfused, we think it's a problem for even less frequently transfused.
Sure.
And so that's the goal. We see this as the future of transfusion medicine, the new standard of care ultimately, and we're working now on clinical trials to prove that out.
Right. Talk about your partnership with Rady.
Yeah. So when we think about precision blood, we see the patient ultimately, and so we have several patients. Many people have probably seen Camilla on some of our releases and email advertisements, that sort of thing. She receives blood transfusions every 2 or 3 weeks. So when we think about that, we think about, hey, what can we do right by patients like Camilla for her and her family and give them the best possible blood match? And so that's really kind of where it came from us. She's treated over at Rady's Children, so worked with her hematologist, Dr. Thornburg, to work on a clinical trial. So it's a double-blind study. We'll be doing precision blood matching for half of that study, right, and comparing against the standard of care.
No, that's terrific. We're chatting with our good friends from San Diego Blood Bank, Doug Morton, CEO, and Claudine Van Gonka. I'll give you a new middle name over there. Van Gonka, Director of Community Relations and Media. I'm Drew Schlosberg. From Cloudcast Media, we are the longest running podcast in the nation, now in our 17th year. We're brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diego for more than 6 decades, broadcasting here in these really cool studios here in Scripps Ranch. Kristen?
Yeah. Claudine, I just wanted to go back to the mobile blood banks and kind of how that works. You know, I just imagine this like phone line where it's going to be like, blood bank, come find me, you know, and I assume it doesn't work like that. So can you fill me in a little?
Sure. Well, certainly you can call in or go to our website. We have 10 blood mobiles that are out almost every single day. I think 363 days a year.
Okay.
That go to churches and schools and businesses and other nonprofit organizations to collect blood. Okay. We also have 8 donor centers throughout San Diego. We actually have one in Irvine because we do collect and operate as Southern California Blood Bank north of Murrieta into Los Angeles, which is something not a lot of people realize. And we've been servicing that area for decades. So there's lots of different opportunities to donate blood.
Okay, so these 8 centers, these are brick and mortar spaces that you're talking about.
They are, and they're anywhere from Vista to Chula Vista. We like to say you're never more than 10 or 15 minutes away from any of our centers.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then with the blood banks, are these, the mobile blood mobiles, do you have people that call you up and say, hey, I'm a church, I've got a large congregation, or how does that kind of process work?
Yeah,
in
sometimes.
getting okay.
Yeah, sometimes we have organizations call us, which is best case scenario,
Yeah.
to say, hey, we have a lot of people that want to come and donate blood, and we set that up. Other times, we have people within our own organization that go out. They're territory managers. And if the Scripps Ranch territory manager might come to Mission Fed and say, you guys interested in hosting a blood drive? And then we kind of take it from there. And we like to have people make appointments if possible. We just want to, be prepared and give them the best experience. But we, can't reiterate enough. If you're not sure where you're going to be when, and you just see one of our buses, please, we'll take walk-ins.
We come back from break. Doug and Claudine want to talk a little bit about coming up National Blood Donor Month, which is coming in January. And then also, Doug, you can, maybe give some, input to people that say, boy, I'd love to donate my blood, but how do I know I'm healthy enough to do that? We can chat about that when we return with Doug Morton, CEO of San Diego Blood Bank, and Claudine Van Gonka, the Director of Community Relations and Media, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the Executive Director of San Diego Riders, Inc. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, Cloudcast Media, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 17th year. We're brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, been doing great things in San Diego and our region for more than 6 decades. We are joined by Doug Morton, CEO of San Diego Blood Bank, and Claudine Van Gonka, the Director of Community Relations and Media, and my co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Riders, Inc. Let me start with you on this, Doug, and then we can pivot over to Claudine on National Blood Donor Month. How do they know that I'm healthy enough to donate blood? How does that happen?
Okay, yeah. So if someone has specific questions, they can always visit sandiegobloodbank.org, and there's contact information there if they want to actually talk to somebody or chat with somebody about specific medications. Most people, if they're generally healthy, are eligible. There are a handful of medications, but again, there's a medication list that they can refer to. But we would encourage people not to self-defer.
Sure.
Right? Call and ask, because most people, in fact, are. For example, if you've recovered from cancer, you're still eligible to donate. Right? There's some misunderstanding about if you received a tattoo, you can still donate. Once
Really? I did hear that. Have you heard that one before?
I have not.
You were eliminated.
Shocker.
No idea if she has a tattoo or not, for God's sake.
I don't actually, yeah.
Right. Well,
You want to get matching tattoos?
we'll do that.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
Great.
Cloudcast Media.
And then we can donate blood right after.
Yeah, he said we can do that.
Yeah.
That's good. So then basically go to the website if you have any questions in this aspect of it. And question for you, Clint, before we talk about, Claudine, the National Blood Donor Month in January. Do the mobile units, do they come to someone's house or not?
Generally, no. What we do community blood drives. So if a group of community leaders, say an OB, wants to have a blood drive in their neighborhood, as long as we can get enough people to sign up in advance, we can set that up in a neighborhood.
So what's like an ideal group of people? Like how many?
Yeah, so a good normal blood drive is about 23, 25 people, and that's collected. So what you need to do when you're organizing a blood drive is you need to have more than that number commit and make appointments so that we know, we'll get about that many, because a lot of people, not a lot, some people will be deferred for different reasons, low iron or whatever it might be. But then we also have walk-ins to kind of offset that. So you just kind of do that math.
So how would you know if they have low iron? I mean, is there a test before they draw the blood?
There is. Doug?
Yeah, so we do a hemoglobin test. So we want to make sure that we're not doing any harm, certainly to a donor walking the door. So they receive a little mini physical to make sure they're healthy enough to donate. Again, most people are, but we want to check.
Right.
And iron deficiency is one we don't want to make worse by drawing blood if, in fact, they're already low on iron. But part of that is an effort also. We want to use our donor centers in particular as a little bit of a give back. So, for example, you get cholesterol testing. That's not required for blood donation. That's just a little, hey, here's some information. We want to keep you healthy.
That's wonderful.
It is.
So we're looking for other wellness type activities we can do in our center. Donors come in and do a great thing for our community. Can we do some little wellness checks just as a benefit to them?
That's a great idea. Talk about National Blood Donor Month.
Sure. Yeah. So in 1970, President Nixon proclaimed January National Blood Donor Month. And that's really to recognize and thank the voluntary blood donors that come in on a regular basis, to save lives. And it also is a time to encourage people who've never donated before, start, a healthy new habit. And we always celebrate with all kinds of fun things at San Diego Blood Bank in January. And this coming January, for the first 2 weeks of January, if you donate at a blood bank, San Diego Blood Bank mobile drive or one of our centers, you're going to get a special edition Winnie the Pooh shirt. It's very cute. We do different blood drives with folks. We're also going to take this opportunity to start our Refer a Friend program. We're going to kick that off in National Blood Donor Month, where if you're just anybody, you're a current donor, you're Drew Schlosberg, and you refer us to someone who's never donated blood before. Refer us to a new donor, and once that donor donates, you get a $25 Amazon gift card.
What?
Oh my goodness!
Right?
I'm going to recommend Kristen Fogel wherever she is.
I'm right here. I might have low iron, but I can find out. If I'm still, this
what's
little
so funny?
anemic, whatever.
Doug and Claudine drove the mobile blood bank today. And so I'm just kidding. She still believes.
You had me. I'm tired. You told me, you're like, you look tired today. I'm tired. They could have.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We have amazing staff, but you probably don't want me drawing your blood.
That sounds good. I know you got a question for Doug and or Claudine.
Yeah. For either of you, tell me about a story that makes you most proud about your organization. Maybe someone you helped out or just something recent that's on the brain.
So just recently, I'll tell you two stories.
Please.
One, we just recently heard from one of our hospitals that there was a patient involved in a bad car accident that needed 137 units of blood, and they came through. They survived. And
What's that equate to in terms of quarts or gallons or whatever?
Well, 8 pints is a gallon, so 137.
A unit is a pint.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So 137
that's a lot.
units, it's a ton.
Wow. Yeah.
And so you think about that in terms of donations, right? And this is one of the reasons why we always need donations. You never know when there's a trauma like that.
Right.
So that's a current event. We try to share that with our staff and with our donors just to remind them that there's a face at the other end of this donation that you're doing. More broadly, I just wanted to mention I'm proud of our organization and really our community in response to COVID. When COVID hit, our staff showed up for work. We didn't know much about the virus, right? There were concerns. Our staff showed up because they understand the importance of the role we play to healthcare in the community. And our donors showed up. Right? We actually asked our donors, our older donors, we said, stay home. We understand you're at higher risk. Stay home. We're going to ask the younger donors to come in. We still had our older donors say, no, this is what we do. We had one gentleman that wanted to come in. He was concerned about COVID. So we weren't running mobiles at the time because businesses were shut down. We actually drew him one-on-one on a bloodmobile in our parking lot because he really wanted to donate. And that just shows the commitment of and again, we did not have a blood supply problem due to tremendous response from our community. So I'm just proud of our organization as well as our community.
Can I? That's amazing that they all showed up, and I really just want to sing all your praises. I'm happy to be a community partner or what have you after this, so we'll connect on that. I just wanted to go back to the 187 units really quickly because I want to put that in perspective for people and for myself who's not a math person. So when you get your blood drawn, is that a pint that you're getting drawn? Like how many people does it take to contribute 187 units.
I think it was 137. But,
Okay,
but so
137.
137 divided by 8.
Okay.
So, 1 pint.
Do the math, Drew?
So there's 137 donors likely in that.
It's about 16.
For that one need.
Wow. Okay.
Because blood lasts for shelf life of 42 days.
That's it.
Yeah. And platelets only last for 5 to 7 days, depending on the type of platelet. And so we have to collect them continually.
Okay.
And so, when you think about a trauma like that, the blood on the shelf, that was from 137 different donors likely. There could have been a few double red cell donors in there, but...
No, that's something, Claudine, I know you got something you wanted to add.
No, I agree. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I think we did the math a second ago, and it was like 17 people had to come together.
I said 16, I was off by 1, right?
That was good.
Yeah.
Just for that one person. And one unit could potentially save up to 3 lives because you can divvy that unit up into different components.
Right. We are chatting. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Doug.
I just want
Please.
to correct that. It's 16 or 17 gallons, but it takes 8 people to make 1 gallon.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. In other words, that is something that most people come in with a traumatic accident and don't need that many pints, to say the least. And how's the person doing, by the way?
We heard that they made it through that difficult time. So I don't know the follow-up.
Right.
We've asked our hospital to share that, really, so we can share with our staff. We have staff that work 24/7 overnight.
Right.
We want them to see the fruits of their labor, hear at least some of that. So,
right. We're chatting with Doug Morton, CEO of San Diego Blood Bank, joined by his colleague Claudine Van Gonka, Director of Community Relations and Media for the Blood Bank, joined by my colleague Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers Inc. Drew Schlosberg. Listen to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. How do people get a hold of you? I mean, is it best just to go to the website? You must have a whole bunch of FAQs up there, knowing Claudine and all that business. Is that the best way they should find you if they have questions?
That's really the best way, is to go to sandiegobloodbank.org. There's a phone number on there as well if you prefer to speak to a live person, but it does have comprehensive FAQs, donor requirements in advance. You can find where all of our donor centers are, where the mobile blood drive closest to you is, and just learn more about our mission and what we're doing.
Right. So, Doug, this is the question I usually leave for Kristen, but I'm going to steal it from her today. If that's okay. What can our listeners do to support your efforts?
Get the word out. So nationally, I think the number is 3 to 4% of people that are eligible to donate actually donate. Wow. So it's a tiny number. And so if you think about in our community, and it's a similar number in our community when you look at our population, but if you can move that, let's say at 3%, if we can move that to 4%, right, then there's always a steady blood supply, and there's never a concern, even during holidays and summer and that sort of thing. So really, it's about getting the word out, and specifically in light of the need for precision blood and our idea that we need a diverse donor base, we need everybody to get their community involved. So there are certain communities, maybe there's myths around blood donation. We would invite any community group that want to come in, contact us. We'd love to do a tour, show you a little bit of what we do, earn your trust, and understand what it is we do every day. And so really just like our community guardians, help us get the word out.
So what I'd love to do is have you folks come back in sooner than later and bring in a community partner. Bring in someone from Rady's, or bring in, Joe Blow lives in the Scripps Ranch area, and this guy's always doing neighborhood blood drives. Because obviously you hear from the folks that are actually doing it and say, you too can do it in fill in the blank, Logan Heights, Santia, whatever the case may be. We don't want to break any HIPAA laws. I mean, I understand that.
Yeah.
But does that make sense? Can you do that?
Absolutely. We'd love to.
Good. Well, I'll have Claudine, tee that up with our talented folks at Scatina Daniels and have you folks come in, because you really can't talk about the importance to make sure we got a great blood supply. That sounds so obvious, but moving the needle just a percentage point or two, that is pretty impressive, that we can be pretty safe and healthy for many moons down the road. Claudine, any final comments?
Just want to thank you for having us and really encourage anyone. If you've ever donated blood, donate regularly. We always say it's the blood already on the shelves that saves the lives. Don't wait for an emergency.
Right.
Come in regularly. Join our loyalty program, our Guardian Circle. You will get rewarded beyond anything you can understand. And if you've never donated, it's very simple. We make it very comfortable for you and easy. And one donation could save up to 3 lives. So maybe for Christmas, for holidays, do something for someone else.
That's a great idea. Doug, any final comments?
Again, I just say thank you for helping us get the word out.
Yeah, absolutely. Our pleasure. We look forward to having you come back on during National Blood Donation Month. We'll try to find some time in there and bring in some of the folks that have benefited from what you're doing. It's so critical, to say the least, in this. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 17th year. We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.